Chris, your team have worked extremely hard for those 3 points.
Well, they do, in my opinion, every week. Really proud of them, obviously. I think they've represented themselves first and foremost, very professionally, lots of energy, vibe, intelligence, good techniques, and then of course, you know, they're representing all of us by that, me, our great supporters. So for the guys to cheer us like they did, because again, it was magnificent, and to share that moment at the end of a game is, you know, well, I bet my missus might be listening, but it feels very good.
Game management, that was a big part of what you wanted these boys to learn last season. It looks like they have.
Yeah, it's something we talked about improving from last year's capabilities. So we were always fast, always attacking, always exciting to watch. You know, got great accolades, didn't we, from the start of the season up until till COVID hit us with the lads. So yeah, with the lads. So you know, even on Quest and TV and stuff. But it was brilliant and exciting. But we've got to have a little bit more control to that, because over a longer journey you do need that control. And
helping with that, you bring Morgan Feeney on. You could see some of the lads retiring after 2 tough away games this week.
Yeah, Jack, that's the last 5 minutes of a game where he's let his opponent in a couple of times. That's not Jack Armour, but I've got to commend him for the first week of the season starting, where he's played Colchester, Sheffield United away, and then obviously today with all the miles that we had to work through yesterday, because I think they had a good 10 hours on the bus. We actually didn't train yesterday because we were meant to train at Blackburn Rovers, which we thank for them for allowing us to use that at around dinner time, but you know, we couldn't even get off the M6 at Tickle Trout. So some of the boys had met there, decided to rejig, just crack on, because it was saying 5.5 hours, 6 hours to Swindon from that point, but it actually got worse, and all the rat runs around Manchester were rammed. So obviously there's fatalities, which isn't nice to hear, but from our preparation perspective it wasn't great. So for the boys to do what they've done, I only can commend them.
That shows a mentality, doesn't it? Because it is difficult to get to the hotel at 10 o'clock at night. You've still got to eat, you've still got to try and do something to shake off the legs. Then they come and do this.
Well, I rang them. I was going to jump on it at Stolbart's 15, but they couldn't get back on the motorway. They set off 30 minutes before me from Tickle Trout Way. I ended up 1.5 hours in front of them, and then of course Gaz needs his 45-30 minute rest for his taco card thing. So I'm thinking, they're not even at, you know. So I just carried on. I weren't too bad. I actually had a nice hot bath and thought about today's game, but it still took me a good 6-7 hours. But for the lads, brilliant. This morning we did a bit of it's called pre-activation. It's a posh word for I don't know, Pilates. So they're stretched out before pre-match, and then we just turn the button on when we get here and try our best.
Turn the button on, you're saying that. It's important when you're controlling the game to score, and we did. And what a goal from Joe! 50th appearance for the club, written in the stars.
Well, I didn't know it was his 50th, so thanks for sharing that with us. But that's pretty good, isn't it? Considering last summer he was a player like a lot of our players that wasn't wanted, and he started training with me in Lancashire in lockdown. There was a group of 5 of us, and he deserved his contract, so he got his contract. Now he's improving his capability of having a proper mark on the Football League, so it's a great strike, great for him to be proud of. I hope he doesn't over-tweet it, because that's what Joe does, and I hope he then goes home and concentrates. Oh, he's there, look. He goes home and concentrates on getting ready for Port Vale.
Yeah, that is shaking his head, but it was a cracking strike. That's what you've been encouraging him to do.
Yeah, Joe, it was this time last year you were tweeting 25 minutes at Fleetwood in a reserve game. Yeah, that's true. Tweeting today. So you can find him for he can have one tweet, but any more than that, we'll get onto him. Yeah.
The negative bit, I reckon you'll be annoyed with the manner in which we conceded.
Yeah, because we had him in a lock and he couldn't get out, and then we just broke alignment of that, which then chasing back, cheap foul, wide free kicks out, near the edge of the box, headed back across goal. We got to complete the first header, first contact, and we didn't. So that's poor. But you're not going to get everything right, and the response to that was excellent.
How much did it change the team talk when Tristan did what he did at the other end? At half time.
I just told them they deserved to be in that position. So, well done. But from that point moving forwards, manage the game. Chances will come to us. We changed tactics, we changed shape, we changed personnel in position, everything we've been doing pre-season, because we have to be capable of dealing with difference. Jack was tired. Let's be right, he had a great game at Sheffield United. Him and George. I mean, George didn't compete for that header for the goal, but he was beating Premier League football players in the air as a centre half on Tuesday. So learn from it, improve yourself and move forwards.
That change of tactics, that was deliberate through the last 10, 15 minutes, wasn't it? Just to contain what we had. Yeah,
Morgan was important for that, and just swapping Joel for Jack was important just because he's right-footed. So the slide passing behind Jack's shoulder is going to Joel's right foot, not Jack's, and he can cut that out, and he did a little bit. So it just destabilised our attacks down that side, which was good for us. It's a shame because he looks like he could be a real good player. And he's learnt a lot there, because it's a pretty bad foul that he doesn't need to make when he's booked, and he ends up getting himself sent off.
Early days, Chris, so much to be enthused about with the way these boys are playing, with the exciting stuff, the dogged stuff. Yeah. It's mixing together.
You need a mix, so that's what you need. Life's like that, isn't it? It's one big mix, so got to adapt and keep moving forwards and make sure it represents, bringing it back to what I say. It's hard work, honesty, great values, because I think the supporters understand that when we do represent them, we're together on it. They were brilliant, lads were brilliant, so everybody go home, enjoy, have a good rest, and let's get ready for, I don't know how Port Vale have got on today, but let's get ready for a really tough game at Port Vale, our third game on the road.
You wanted to address the away form, 180 minutes now of stuff that shows us that it's going in the right direction, home and away.
Yeah, definitely, but we've got to keep making it better, and hopefully we can help support the boys that are here to do that and strengthen while we get towards the end of what is August.
Just a couple of balls at Clough, any news on him?
He's been running today, which is great news. I'm not too sure on how he got on, but I do know he was pushing himself a bit today. So I'll be straight on the phone and find out over the weekend.
And Port Vale, more of the same?
Well, if we can have a 2-1 win guaranteed now, yeah, of course. But nah, Daryl's a competitive person. He stated in his interviews for the first time in his management career, no excuses. And what he means by that, he's got a budget and finance to get who he wants, go and get what he wants. Often, lower league management's not actually getting what you want. You've got to adapt to try and make it what you want. But he stated that in his interview, and I've no doubt he'll be doing and working really hard to get that right for him.
Thanks for your time, yeah, again.